Hello, good morning. Another lovely day here in the Philippines. I hope your day is going to be as good as mine hope mine is going to be. You know, my thought for today is actually it's referring to a lot of us of course have got family and friends back home. Some of us also have children back home. And when I say home, not here, like overseas. And of course, when one makes the ultimate move to come and live in another country, which I've done on a number of occasions. If you come from families that have been split and you have children involved, you are going to be in effect leaving them behind. They're going to carry on with their lives without the necessarily uh, weekly, monthly visits with their father. So that's the first thing that will change, because obviously they're not going to be able to hop down the road or take a 5 hour drive to come and see dad. But of course, they can always get on a plane and come and see you, or vice versa. You could get on a plane and go and see them. But those who are parents would also realize that many of your children out there, not that they don't love you, it's just that they have their own lives. Once they leave home, they tend to focus on their daily life, which doesn't always involve their mum and dad. It does for events like birthdays and Christmas and Easter, but generally speaking, it's not living in the same way that they do here in the Philippines. But it is a hard move to get on that plane, and in my own case, my son, the last time I was in New Zealand, said to me, as he stuck the dagger in my heart, "Sorry, Michael, you did. But," he said, "this might be the last time I see you, Dad." And I go, "No." But he's probably right. I hope he isn't. But the thing is that it is a gut-wrenching feeling for many of us to leave our loved daughter or son behind, or sons, and know that you're going to make a new life here in another country, and that your relationship will change with your children in the sense that it can only really be maintained by way of video chats or phone calls to them on a regular basis. But for some, that's maybe a hardest thing to deal with. And I can understand how they feel, because I like to consider myself very close to my children, as much as they're not necessarily close to me. But I will say that my son Michael does pick up the phone, does press the video channel and ring me occasionally, even though I try and ring him at least once maybe every 2 weeks if I can. But then there are occasionally messages he might send to me, or a photo, which I then follow up with a phone call. And they are moments of joy in my heart when I get to speak to the little shit. But when you do come and live, be it in the Philippines, you leave all of that behind, but it never really leaves you. Separation is a hard thing to deal with. Some of you may well be estranged from your children, and by coming here, you're going to be even more estranged. You may even lose contact with them through the fact that they maybe don't use Facebook anymore, or they don't have a WhatsApp, and they're not answering their phone. Maybe they've changed their phone number. and maybe they're just not bothered. So for you to be trying to find them, you have to maybe use other family members to track them down. And when you do manage to get to speak to them, they're a little bit cold on the other end of the phone. And you're left feeling a little bit dampened by the spirit that they created in your moment of wanting to come back into their lives, catch up with what's going on. But it's part and parcel of making that break from living in the West to coming to the Philippines. And it's great to know and hear that some of you are able to have a better relationship. Some of you actually suggest that you have a better relationship now with your estranged family back home than you had when you were there. We all know how shopkeepers always see us old fellas like myself as of no interest when we wander in the shops. They're after the younger ones who apparently are willing to put everything on their credit card and spend up large. But we are, in a way, the invisible um, community as we get older. But here, fortunately, we are treated with a great deal of respect by the authorities, giving us senior citizen status, and people seek out our knowledge, our wisdom, unlike they do in the West. So one thing tends to replace another. Where we are a little bit invisible when we get older, we're the old folk that they go and see in the rest homes or in our family home that the children have left years ago and only return, like I say, for Christmas, birthdays, and maybe Easter, or in America, Thanksgiving. But don't be disheartened. We're making a new life here. New friends, new acquaintances, new lovers. So the world is our oyster. And as I said before, it's what you make it. Each day is what you make it. If it was a miserable, horrible day yesterday, try and make it a happy, joyful day here today. And I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to my thoughts for the day. And I will, no doubt, catch you later, maybe even today. Bye now.